Hello, hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to Stars with Stasi, where no matter who or what you are on this cosmic journey, you are welcome here. I'm Stasi, your trusted psychic, intuitive reader, and fellow Scorpio. Scorpio, today we're going to take a look at our finances, our creativity, and what we put out into the universe, and see what messages they have for us today. I hope everyone is doing well. Your weekly reading will be out tomorrow, and today it is the full moon in Taurus, right? It is a full super moon. So I believe it's the last super moon of 2025. And I did talk a lot about what this moon will be providing us, the energetics of that moon. The tension of stability and transformation is in the sky and upon us. And I thought that this would be a great time to look at the energetics surrounding our coins. So I hope everyone is doing well. If this is your first time here, welcome home. And for returning subscribers, welcome back. As always, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. All right, guys, let's see. Oh, interesting energy to start off. Oh my goodness, hold on. You know how this goes? We're already popping off. I've got Journey showing up as the first card in this reading. You may move to a new place for work or travel for work. Exploring the world gives you the experience you need to succeed. So life is a journey, but certainly the energetics that we're experiencing now out there in the universe is going to have you understanding yourself and your goals and what you're meant to express, which is probably very different than the path that you've been on until recent months. So, what has changed in your world? What journey are you taking right now? Where is it leading you? Right? Here we also have number 37. And you know, I like to work with the numerology of it all. So 3 is a number of creation and change, and 7 is a very spiritual number. So this is like divinely led change. This reads the magician's sword, confidence in your magic. What is magic, you might be asking? Every act, every breath of life, anything that you do with intention to follow your will, your purpose, what you desire, that's magical. Anything that you do can be magic because magic is a mindset. You are the magic. You are the tool. So the magician's swords are about communication, about thought, the internet, intellect, right? Have confidence in what you're expressing out there in the universe. That confidence breeds more confidence. It breeds high value humans and experiences into your world. And then our affirmation reads, I express my creativity. Document that below to enter for the mini read contest that I do each week. I express my creativity. You see where the universe, this message already is that you are on a journey for more. Have confidence in what you put out into the world and express your creativity. The affirmation reads, my unique and creative talents are ambitious flows. My unique and creative talents and abilities flow through me and are expressed in deeply satisfying ways. My creativity is always in demand. It is a mindset, right? It is a mindset. Your creativity is always in demand and you express that creativity. And I actually just did a recording earlier. It's going to post maybe at the end of next week with Joe Monteleone. He is so many things, but he's a magician and the author of the Tarot Mysticism and the founder of the Tarot Mysticism Academy. And one of the things that we discussed during that interview, which was so much fun to do, was all about expressing yourself and coming out of that magical closet, coming out of the creativity, fear mindset. I think that our money mindset and what we're meant to do, it flows through differently this season. Sorry, I got kind of caught up on my words there. One moment. So again, the journey. You may move to, oh, hold on one second. So I do see the Two of Swords and the Page of Swords. So we're going to take that. The Two of Swords is about decision making. The Page of Swords is like finding a new path forward. Pages are messengers, but they're also students, right? So this is potentially you learning a new path, learning something new, expressing yourself in a different way. I feel like a freedom energy coming through. Like where you thought it wasn't possible, you start seeing a path ahead and you start creating a path for yourself. I see a lot of people making changes in their day-to-day income and in their workflow. Wow, a lot of swords. We've got the Queen of Swords. So the Two of Swords, Page of Swords, Queen of Swords. And I always say the Queen is very receptive to ideas and change and communication. Remember, queens are receptive energy, and you can see how she has one hand extended to take what serves her, and then she's holding the sword to cut off what doesn't. This is about making decisions, very much reflected in that first card. Whatever decision you make may have you learning something new, expressing something different, expressing that creativity. Remember, comment, I express my creativity. Pound that thought form into the universe because you are looking for new creative ways to bring in income. Even if you're retired, why not take what you've learned your entire life and turn it into a source of light for others? And if you happen to make some money off of it, there's no harm there. I think the universe is definitely pushing us in ways that we did not expect. Like I said, here in the United States, there are, I believe, we're still in a government shutdown. There's a lot of political turmoil. And while I don't generally speak on that in this channel, it is very much affecting the way that people are living here, right? Very much affecting. So if you have any part of your income that relies on government resources, whether you work for the government or you receive aid from the government, this is a very scary time. And it's pushing people into the reality of, I need to be self-sufficient one way or the other. And the universe is providing us a myriad of ways to express ourselves creatively. And that creativity can turn often into a source of income if that's what you're looking to do. So whatever you do next, Scorpio, it must be an outlet for your creativity, right? It will keep you sane. At minimum, it'll keep you going. And, you know, that's how my channel started, for sure. So here we've got the Judgment card, which in the Witch's Tarot is the Karma card, right? What you're meant to do, being called to your true purpose. You see these people are having a rebirth. They're coming out of these coffins. They're nude. They're expressing their willingness to move forward and be called to a purpose greater than themselves. It's a beautiful card, Judgment, quite frankly. And then we've got the Page of Pentacles, another page. This one's looking for a more practical and grounded way to get the results. Again, studious. How to bring something into material form. Less effort, more joy. That's what I'm picking up on. Less effort and more joy. I express my creativity. Are you going to take this journey? Do you see yourself as worth it? You are. It's a mindset. King of Cups. I love the King of Cups. What's interesting here is that we have a Page of Swords, and directly under it in the central column, we've got the Page of Pentacles. I've got the Queen of Swords, and directly under her energy, we have the King of Cups. Where queens are receptive energy, the kings are action-oriented. When we're talking about cups, we're talking about fulfillment, emotions, family, love, joy, right? The good, the water sign stuff, the Scorpio stuff. This king is taking action to find their fulfillment in life. And they are more mature, right? So that says that you are in a growing stage of life, Scorpio. They are more mature and they know how to balance their emotions against the needs of others without emptying their cup. Does that make sense? They don't extend themselves so much that there's nothing left for them. You see how they are floating above the water. They are not drowning. This king is looking into the future. This king is stable, but this king is kind. And I believe this message here says when you are discerning and you are receptive to change and clarity, you can fill your cup and be aware of those around you and still stay afloat. If you're in an energy where you're in a very hectic, draining environment, it's not healthy. And the universe says it's time to go on a journey. Explore what you are meant to do, explore what makes you creative, right? Some people are meant to build businesses. It doesn't mean that, you are necessarily out there painting or authoring or all of the things. It could be that your expression of the divine matrix is to build businesses, but that means that you've got to get out of where you are and start building. Does that make sense? And I think that the universe is pushing us more and more to take that journey because we have to learn independent confidence, just like we have here with this magician's sword, right? The more you're under somebody's thumb, whether that be in a relationship, a friendship, or at work, you lose your identity and you start just being robotic and taking on direction. And Scorpios were fixed signs, and we're meant to just kind of find our path and stick with it. And sometimes we're resistant to change. This full moon in Taurus, no matter when you're watching it, just know that right now, when this is being recorded, it is right now the full moon in Taurus. And that's also a fixed sign. It's our opposite sign, creating that tension between, again, what it is that we're meant to express and what we find stable. Scorpios are often ones that have to find their own way. We don't like being prescribed a course of action. We like creating a course of action that feels comfortable to us. But at the same time, if something is comfortable, we don't tend to ruffle feathers. We kind of tend to go with the flow. The universe is creating situations that are making us forge our own path ahead. So, and like I said before, depending on where you live, you're going to be feeling it in different ways. Here in the US, things are very politically heightened right now, causing people to say, I need freedom from, and then fill in the blank, right? So there's that tension showing up. How's that showing up for you in your neck of the woods, right? If you're in a different country, or even if you're in the US, how are you seeing this play out? Are you feeling pushed to take a journey? And how are you finding ease in that process? Because again, it is about perception, right? So if you are feeling tension and not finding a benefit in that, it becomes more uncomfortable until you give into it, to be honest. Here we've got the moon card showing up as I discuss the moon. We've got the 10 of wands coming through, which I really like for us. And then I've got the 3 of wands. Wands are about taking action. It's inspiration. It's creativity. It is power, right? Now, the moon card showing up, you might not see the clear path ahead in this moment. But what you do see is maybe a feeling of exhaustion with this 10 of wands, right? This person's been carrying a heavy burden and it's exhausting. It's a Debbie Downer. Sorry for all the Debbies out there. I'm sure you're amazing humans. It's a saying, but it's a Debbie Downer, right? It's that feeling of like, oh, this again. Oh, it's so difficult. This is coming to an end. And how do we get to that end? It's perfectly worded with this 3 of wands. In the 3 of wands, you're past just the thought process of doing something. You are actually creating it. Remember that the 2 of wands, you have a person holding 2 staves. One is firmly planted in the ground and one is not. That means that that person is still, thinking about the different options and wondering how to proceed, and they're still in the mental mindset. When we have the 3 of wands, 3 wands are firmly planted. This person is looking out and they're saying, this is how I'm going to build it. 3, again, that number of creativity, creation, something coming into fruition. We go from starting this reading off with the 2 of swords indecision and the need to proceed and make a process, right, take place, to this process taking place. And the journey of this is about being adaptable, learning new things, allowing yourself to take and answer that call of karma, right? What you're meant to do, exposure, vulnerability, a balancing game between what's meant for you and what brings you joy and what gives you clarity in the process. And then the moon card, again, you might not see the clearest path initially. And there might be challenges that you feel might come into play, but you don't know what that's going to look like. The universe says, we can't show you everything all at once. Start the journey. Again, start this journey and have confidence in yourself and overcome these mountains that are in, down the path. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's see. How do you want me to do this? This here. Okay. Again, guys, comment. I express my creativity. And remember that this is a general reading. So if you're looking for something more specific, head over to my website at starswithstasi.com. All the links are in the description box. And also, guys, I'll be I'll be publishing some author interviews this month as well. We have Emrys Abner coming up, where we talk about the Ouija board and we talk about how that started off as a dating game, speed dating to be exact. And so that's a lot of fun. And then Joe, like I mentioned earlier, will be coming on later. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I think that you will enjoy it for sure. All right, so I'm going to lay these all out because my guides are telling me to, and they're my bosses. So here we go. I've got the Four of Pentacles clarifying the Two of Swords. So really the challenge here has been about finances, right? You want to take the leap, but you're worried about how that's going to show up in your pocket. Maybe you've been more reserved with your income in the recent past. And that was a smart move for sure, right? But this is saying also covet what is yours. Take care of what you have, but, and make it comfortable for yourself so that you can find ease in the process. When we have the Page of Swords, we also have the Ten of Swords. So it tells me here that a barrier has been, pretty much in the mind, right? And I'm going to show you. You see how this page is here and this is eager energy, but then there's that mindset of like, is this going to work? How's this going to do it? She literally has swords piercing her mind, her mindset, her creativity. So, the universe is saying there's been a lot of fear. It's been a lot of a mental game. Queen of Swords with the 10 of Cups. I feel like there are many Scorpios looking for a balance. They want to have more fulfillment at home with their partner, with their family. Again, with that Four of Pentacles. The path forward to doing that is creating an environment in which you have more freedom. And the way to doing that is expressing your creativity. Start it off as a side hustle if you want. But trust me, if you put the time and energy and intention into your creativity, you can turn that into something full-time for you. But truly, we need to figure out a way for ourselves to find more financial freedom. It has to happen. Relying sometimes on something else, a corporation, a government, a different structure outside of what we build is very, very challenging. And I suspect that we may see even more challenges to that in 2026, to be honest. So if nothing else, find a way to keep yourself happy. Okay, trust me on that. There's a path ahead. I've got the Judgment card with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is victory. Right? Leaning into what you're meant to do, whatever that looks like, is victorious. It gives you the strength. You see how she is the one controlling the hummingbird, that sweet hummingbird with the nectar of that flower. So she has figured out a way to get a handle on something that was challenging, but yet attractive to her. We've got the Knight of Swords with the Page of Pentacles, and knights are in pursuit of. And with this Knight of Swords, it's also very action oriented. And this is in the pursuit of new ways of handling things, communicating ideas. And that's what I feel. I feel like Scorpios are in a creative mode, for sure. And thinking of new ways out of the ordinary ways to express themselves and to, again, to have financial freedom, which is available. It may not feel like it. It really may not feel like it, especially when you are stressed. Things feel impossible. But when you are stressed, it is because the universe is creating a situation to make you move out of what was comfortable because it became stagnant and it doesn't serve you. So things start to show up as blocks. Things start to present themselves as course correctors. Here we've got the King of Cups with the Two of Pentacles. So again, balance is necessary. Two of Pentacles can sometimes feel like biting off more than you can chew. Hot foot, right? Hot potato. Trying to figure out what's worth it, what's not, where to put your energy, how to spend your resources. Very much like that Two of Swords. But again, balance, taking action on what fulfills you is actually the most important thing you can do. Chasing the dollar creates stress. Chasing anything gets you out of breath, makes you tired, makes you ill in so many different ways. Creating something can be a lot of work. It can be exhausting, but it's also a self-motivated endeavor. Here we've got the Moon card with the Judgment card. So the Judgment card has come out twice, right? So I want you to see the beauty of this card. Again, being called to higher, being called to more. Karma. And then we've got the 10 of Wands being clarified by the Ace of Wands. So we go from exhaustion and overwhelm to excitement and a new creative venture. Remember, I told you that wands are inspiration, creativity, the power of action. You go from an exhausted state to something new showing up in your world and excitement. It's very exciting, the times ahead. But the discomfort that you're feeling now is to get you moving outside of what you've always known. And then we've got the Three of Wands being clarified by the Queen of Cups. The Queen is very tender. She's receptive. She's nurturing. She's loving. She's kind. You get your mojo back when you start building your vision, whatever that looks like, right? It could look like a change in career paths altogether. It could look like you investing time and resources into learning with these pages, learning something new about yourself, about what you want to do in life. I feel, Scorpio, very strongly that if you're in an uncomfortable way, especially in the recent past, you're in between jobs, you've already written out your resignation letter, it's signs from the universe. You're being called with the Judgment card for more. You're being called to express your creativity. You're being called for the journey. Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this message is motivational for you. That was the point. That is why Spirit asked me to come on today to get us motivated, to get us ready, to express ourselves, and to get unstuck. I'm going to leave you again with this with this inspirational quote, right? My unique and creative talents and abilities flow through me and are expressed in deeply satisfying ways. My creativity is always in demand. I express my creativity. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for your likes, your shares, your subscribes. I appreciate you and your energy, and thank you for making this place as fulfilling for me more than I ever thought it could be. Remember that we are all stars from the sky with feet on the ground, doing the best we can with the information that we have. So be kind to yourselves and each other. And may the magic that we weave and the words that we speak bring healing to all those who seek it. Have a great week ahead and shine brightly.